Hello everyone, my name is Mete Sefa Uysal. Today I will present our research finding that focused on general public debates about death penalty law in Turkey through a social psychological perspective. First, I want to start with historical and cultural context on that death penalty debates in Turkey. Let's start. In Turkey, capital punishment became a topic of heated discussion in the process of country's integration with the European Union after 2002. In 2004, Turkish parliament abolished capital punishment. Until last year, the rising demands for the reinstatement of capital punishment did not lead to any legal regulation, probably because of ongoing negotiation with the European Union. However, as Turkey's prospect for full membership diminished, that penalty became a hot political issue again. Especially after the failed coup attempt in 2016, some politicians reopened this debate and declared their intention to restore it. For instance, President Erdogan put forward his stance on death penalty many times. Recent studies show that important part of Turkish population also supports the reinstatement of capital punishment. In brief, 16 years after its abolition, capital punishment continued to attract public attention and receive popular support in Turkey. In many cultures, honor is a source of status and power, and honor codes, accordingly, are conceptualized as social structure and prescriptive norm to reach this status and power. Current theoretical approach emphasizes that concept of honor may have different meanings in different cultures. In honor cultures such as Turkey, people define honorable behaviors in gender specific way more than other cultures. Even some researchers define the honor codes as an ideology that has political, social, and economic concerns to dominate and control women who are considered powerless to protect their personal and familial honor. Honor research suggests that individuals react differently according to honor orientation of their cultures when confronting with honor threat. In Mediterranean and Middle Eastern countries, people frequently use the violence to restore damaged honor. Ayşe Üskü, Suzan Kroos, and their colleagues showed that Turkish participants are easily offended by honor-threatening situation and react in search of retaliation. In this sense, we hypothesize that positive attitudes towards gender norms of honor culture predict higher support for capital punishment, which we define the support for death penalty as a collective retaliation against honor damaging situation. Because in honor cultures, people who share common patriarchal belief and have positive attitudes towards gender norms um, tend to expect government agencies should carry out the retaliatory action on behalf of the community in honor damaging situations. Honor codes are indeed closely related to sexism and sexist attitudes. In this study, we focus on one of the most violent sexist and patriarchal act, and how honor codes and sexism altogether impact on public reaction against these violent, sexist, and patriarchal crime, sexual assaults, and in specifically rapes, which is dramatically increased in Turkey every year. Research on the relationship between ambivalent sexism and violence against women show that in countries where the rates of physical violence against women are very high, benevolent sexism tends to rise as a kind of buffer. In case of increasing occurrence of rape, benevolent sexism may fulfill this buffer function. We therefore expect benevolent sexism to be a strong predictor of higher support for capital punishment in sexual offenses. Uh, in honor cultures, people who have hostile attitudes towards women may exhibit different stances within and between cultures. On the one hand, Individuals with higher hostile sexism show stronger tendencies for victim blaming and minimizing the traumatic impact of rape. They are in turn likely to oppose capital punishment in case of sexual offenses. On the other hand, the dynamics of honor cultures turn this relationship into a more complicated issue. Since individuals who share common patriarchal beliefs in honor cultures may expect government agencies should carry out retaliatory action behalf on community. In brief, people who have hostile sexism may have contradictory dispositional attitudes toward capital punishment in honor cultures. Many factors influence the misleading opinion on sexual assault. At the core of these opinions stand rape myths acceptance. Rape myths are prejudiced, stereotype, and false belief about rape, rapists, or rape victims. The acceptance of cultural myths concerning rape has two important functions: the neutralization of rape and the stigmatization of rapists or rape victims. Sexism is a biased way of understanding sexual assault, since it makes distinction between real rape from rape which can be justified and ideal victim from the untouchable victim. In this context, while rape myths define the ideal victim, they marginalize the rapist as a pervert to maintain gender hierarchy and honor codes in form of cultural script. Thus, the endorsement of rape myths may be related to level of support for capital punishment in sexual offenses. Although rape myths is a bias compatible with sexism and gender norms of honor culture, it has a clear contradiction with support for capital punishment for rape offenders due to its strong association with victim blaming. However, this contradiction need not lead to lower support for capital punishment, because rape myths are inherently conservative and closely related to hostile attitudes towards women, even for its subtle forms. When people who have hostile sexism show high rape myths acceptance, they may endorse victim blaming due to hostile sexist belief, and they may not view the rape as a real rape due to neutralization function of rape myth acceptance. In turn, they would not see the rape offenders as a guilty, and they not support the death penalty for rape offenders. However, when people who have low hostile sexism and endorse higher rape myth acceptance, they will not blame the victim due to lower hostile sexism. They see the rape as a monstrous act of psychopaths rather than as a result of intergroup power hierarchy or patriarchal status quo due to stigmatization function of rape myth acceptance. Therefore, they would support the death penalty for rape offenders. So we collected data between October 2018 and March 2019. 450 Turkish participants participate in our study. Hostile and benevolent sexism was measured by ambulatory sexism inventory of Glick and Fisk. Rape myth acceptance was measured by the short form of Illinois rape myth acceptance scale. We developed 5 items to measure attitude towards gender norms of honor culture and 4 items for support for capital punishment of rape offenders. A linear regression analysis was conducted. Gender, ambivalent sexism, the gender norms of honor culture predict higher support for capital punishment. Specifically, higher benevolent sexism, higher hostile sexism, and positive attitudes towards gender norms predict higher support for capital punishment. And moreover, women showed higher support for capital punishment than men. However, rape myths did not predict support for capital punishment. To explore whether hostile sexism interact with rape myth acceptance, we added the interaction terms into the regression model. Our results indicate that the interaction between hostile sexism and rape myth acceptance was significant. To unpack this interaction, a simple slope analysis was conducted. As you see, the effect of hostile sexism on support for capital punishment tend to decrease for higher level of rape myth acceptance. For the highest level, effect of hostile sexism is even not significant. As a result, people who have high rape myth acceptance and low hostile sexism show the high support for capital punishment. But people who have rape myth acceptance and high hostile sexism show the lowest support for capital punishment. So our results indicate that benevolent sexism is an important and direct predictor of support for capital punishment. We argue that benevolent sexism and gender norms of honor culture provide a so-called protection packet for women. Related, the Glick and colleagues show that benevolent sexism is a strong predictor of Turkish women's endorsement of honor codes. So they make a promise to women for protection if they behave honorable all the time. Consistent with this argument, people with high level of benevolent sexism support capital punishment, and women show more support for capital punishment than men. So, moreover, our findings show that the hostile sexism directly predict the support for death penalty. One of the underlying reasons of this maybe hostile sexism stems from competitively driven motivation for dominance, such as social dominance orientation. When hostile sexism and social dominance orientation combined, women's easily seen as a resource should be controlled by powerful men, because the people who have high level of social dominance orientation perceive the social world as a competitive jungle for resources and power. Thus, they may see the increasing rates of rape as attacks on their resources, and individuals who have high social dominance orientation may therefore struggle for their position in patriarchal hierarchy through the support for capital punishment. But further work should focus on the role of social dominance orientation in this relationship. And lastly, although there is a strong evidence for the relationship between sexism and rape myth acceptance, the nature of this relationship seems rather complex. One of the important determinants of the relationship might be victim blaming. It's widely reported that hostile sexism predict greater victim blaming, and when the victim blaming is considered as an important aspect of rape myth acceptance, it seems reasonable that hostile sexism appeared as a moderator between rape myths and support for capital punishment. But of course, further works should focus on directly victim blaming and the role of victim blaming on this relationship. I think my time is up. I hope that our study would a humble effort to stop femicides in Turkey for the name of honor. Our article will be published in Journal of Community and Applied Social Psychology in coming days. But of course, you can find the preprint of our study at SciArchive. I am looking forward to meet with you at Q&A session. You can send mail for your questions and feedbacks. Have a lovely conference and thank you. Stay safe.